Hey coders, today I would like to share with you the basic syntax to write arrow function using JavaScript, which got implemented as part of ES6. I was learning arrow function. I realized that there is only three basic syntax that you want to remember, and that's pretty. Let's say I want to write a function to say hi. If I am a basic JavaScript, if I want to write a basic JavaScript function, what I would do is declare a variable. Let's say hi, and then let me do a function. If you I would declare a function. Let's say I want to say a name, and then I would return hi. So that's pretty much to how you define a JavaScript function. This is nothing to do with the arrow function. This is ES5. This is just a plain JavaScript function. So let's say I want to call the say hi function. All I have to do is say hi and then pass in a name. Let's say I pass in James. And if I pass James, it says hi James. So this is the plain JavaScript function. Okay, if I want to convert this into an arrow function, how do I do this? So let's say I want to do a same function but as an arrow function. You can ignore the keyword function in a normal function. So you ignore that. After that, what I got is just name within parenthesis, and then I introduce a fat arrow, and then what I do is just within flower bracket, all I have to do is just to return hi name in that, and that's pretty much to what an arrow function is all about. So previously you do have function and then followed by the parameters. Now you don't have to write the function name, you just have to give the parameters followed by the fat arrow, and then within parentheses you can have your logic. On this case I'm just trying to have uh, just to return hi and then followed by a name. The name is just an input parameter. So this is definitely a valid function, just to showcase that we'll call the same function and I'm expecting the same output on this case too. So hi James is what I get if I call say hi function again. So this is a basic syntax for an arrow function. So so there are a few edge case scenarios on this. I'm only trying to concentrate only on three basic scenarios. If you understand that, you will definitely master arrow function of there are a couple of syntax that syntax edge cases that are there. So if it has only one single parameter, on this case name is the only single parameter on this case. If it is having only one single parameter, you don't have to have the parenthesis at the parenthesis enclosing the parameter. So this can be actually rewritten as say hi. Since it has only one parameter, I can write it as name, and then I can have the rest as remaining. This only applicable only if there is only one parameter. Okay, let me execute this and then I'll move on to the next. So this is definitely a valid one. Let's call the function again, say hi, and then James. If I call, I still get the James. Okay, since there is only one parameter, I definitely get this. Uh, uh, this is for if I when I have only one single parameter. If I have no parameter, let's say I want to return the value of pi. Let's say value of pi is what I want to return. as a method. If I don't have any parameter, all I want to return is return 3.14 whenever the uh, function value pi is called. Let's say I want to do this. So since it got no parameter, I definitely have to have the parenthesis without any variable, obviously the fat arrow, and then I have to return 3.17, 3.14. If it has only one single parameter, you definitely don't have to enclose that within a parenthesis. If there is no parameter, you definitely have to have an empty parenthesis so that uh, it compiles. So let me call the value of pi, and then it definitely returns me 3.14. If it we have talked about no single, and obviously if there is more than one parameter, you definitely have to enclose them in a parenthesis. Let's say I want to add two numbers. Let's call it as sum. I want to I, I want to have two numbers a and b, and then basically it returns a sum of a plus b, which is pretty straightforward and definitely compiles. And then all I have to pass is one. I'm just trying to call the sum function. Obviously, 1 plus 2 is 3, and that's pretty much to what we get. So this is on the parameter. This is the basic syntax that you have to follow while writing an fat arrow function. So this is based on the input parameter. Okay. And when it comes to the return statement where the body of the function itself is there, there are a couple of edge case syntax that we want to cover on this video. So on this case, uh, based on the return statement, let's take the sum example as well. On the sum, since there is only one return statement, you don't have to have the flower bracket enclosing them. Okay. ES6 arrow function by default implicitly means that it can return the summation of a plus b. That's what this literally mean. If there is a single line statement, you don't have to have the return statement. It automatically means that it is going to return the sum of a plus b. So if I call again a plus b, you would still get 3. So this is one of the edge cases on returning a single line statement. You don't have to definitely have more lines of code to achieve what you want to do. This is one of the case, but let's say on a scenario where you want to return an object back. Let's say I'm going to have an object. Um, okay, name object. Let me call it as name object. I want to have a name object. I'm going to pass in a name. I'm going to pass in a name since there is going to be one parameter. I'm just going to have it as without a parenthesis enclosing them. So I want to have a object. Let's say the object looks like name colon and then followed by a name. Okay. I want to return it back as an object. Okay. So this is what I want. On this case, since it's an object, I have to definitely enclose that into an flower bracket. I'm going to show another way of implementing the same thing, but before I go into the alternate version, but let me show you name object. Let's say again James. So I get an object uh, returned back when I call name object. I mean, this can be rewritten in a different way. Okay. since it's just a one line, it's just a single line within the body of the function itself, following the fat arrow. There is another way of implementing where you can enclose the entire content into parentheses. So they should return me an object without me writing more characters into my code. I can achieve the same thing but minimal number of codes. So I'm going to call James again. It returns me the same content. So that's pretty much to what we want to cover. If you want to take a look into a basic example of what we have actually covered and wanted a text explained in this video is also available as a Git page for your reference. I'll definitely paste a link